Well, I finally picked something up for the shop that I've needed for years. Now, a lot of these are very expensive, so on Amazon days we decided to pick one up. So I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing video for you. And this is the first of a few things that we're gonna unbox. I need a few shop tools, even though I'm getting a little limited for space. I only work out of about a 1.5 car garage. So I really need to try and limit my space, what I'm doing, but I also need to try and maximize the tools that I have and spend as little money as I can. So thank you, Amazon. Let's get to it. Well, let's get this thing opened. Get my fingers in there. Only what I'll do is I'll just pull this out. It's got a nice little handle on it. Ooh, that's heavy. It must be all the cords and consumables. Hooah! Oh yeah. We've got our ground clamp. Seems a little short, but let's see. Let's pull it out. It's a little short. We'll see. So we've got our 220 to 110 volt adapter. And here's the business end. And that seems like it's pretty long. I guess the biggest thing is, as long as we get a good ground, we'll be okay. Little consumables kit. Some hose. Be for the air coming in. Regulator. And another hardware kit. Alright, so a few things here. Came with a really nice regulator. I put this hose barb in to connect to my air system. And it came with these, and I'm a little bit worried about this because this is absolutely buried even though I Teflon taped it. And the other thing is, this gauge came in kilograms per centimeter squared and MPa, where the instructions on here say to use PSI. So either I'm going to buy a new gauge or I'm going to have to do the conversion and mark it on here. Came with a decent sized bracket here. So we'll stick that in now that this is ready. And I just wanted to mention that this also has a relief on here, so that if you start getting liquid build up in there, that you can relieve it. And this is just like any other regulator where you've got your plastic nut that goes on here. And we'll tighten that down. And there's a little notch on this bracket that once you have this nut tightened down, it will keep this nut from backing off. So we'll get that tight. And I'll just get it so that I can use it. I want to measure out my hose right now. And we'll sort of just do that by eye. It came with a lot of hose. I'm kind of impressed by this. I'm not really sure why it came with so much hose, but we will go for it. And just be careful because the ends aren't clipped really that square, so we'll use our own hose cutter on that. Alright, so now we've got that sorted out. We've got our hose on. One of the clamps that came with this was a little buggered up, but that's okay. It came with 4 clamps. I'm okay with that. This is tight. I haven't tightened this down yet. I'll just use a pair of water pump pliers to get that. We'll turn around to the front. Now this will be our, I believe, our post and after flow. I'm not 100% sure. It didn't really make sense in the book, but we'll play around with that. And this is our amperage setting. The front looks pretty nice. We've got our connection for our ground, and then this will be our airflow connection for our torch side. And then this will be for the control, I believe. So I'll get this all hooked up. I'll read into the book a little bit more, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we've got all our stuff hooked up here, and like I said, this is kind of short, but that's okay. And you can't really mess this up. This goes in. This is our trigger right here. Seems a little long. I might zip tie this up against here just to keep it out of the way. Give it a bit of a loop just so if it moves around it doesn't break. But I'm pretty impressed with how long this is. So we've got our torch end. And it's got a ceramic or porcelain cup here. And I'll pull it apart. And here's our electrode. Then we've got an insulator in our end where the air comes through. And these are the same length, so I'll just put this back together, put it back into the torch, and let's give it a test. Alright, first cut. I haven't even done anything with this yet at all. I've got it set up. It's pretty quiet compared to a bunch of other machines that I've used. So I believe this is a touch contact. While you're holding your trigger down, give her a cut. Let's see what we're going to do here. This is 3/16, I've got it turned up to 48 amps. I've got it, what I figure is about 65 PSI. We'll see how good of a cut this makes, and then we'll go over it a little bit and see if I would recommend this or not. I am actually very impressed with how clean that cut was. Very impressed. I scared myself when it arced. Very clean, very clean. Anything that's a little bit jagged, that's because the machine, the operator, that was me. Let's, yeah. Wow. Wow. So you can probably tell from my reaction that I'm pretty impressed with this. I would recommend it. I mean, that's only my first cut, but we'll see how long it lasts. I also bought the consumables kit to go along with this thing. So I've got one more thing to do with this before I put it under my welding cart. And that is to put a sticker on it. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy your night, keep building in the shop, and always keep learning.